Hi, and welcome to the daily reading for July 16th. And July 16th is being read from this little book, as all the other days in this playlist. Jesus Calling by Sarah Young. Escape. Escape. That's what we're talking about today. Enjoying peace in his presence. But we are going to talk a little bit about escaping from the pit of depression. Okay, so June 16th, that's the wrong date. Here we go. Self-pity is a slimy, bottomless pit. Once you fall in, you tend to go deeper and deeper into the mire. As you slide down those slippery walls, you are well on your way to depression, and the darkness is profound. Your only hope is to look up and see the light of my presence shining down on you. Though the light looks dim from your perspective, deep in the pit, those rays of hope can reach you at any depth. While you focus on me in trust, you rise ever so slowly out of the abyss of despair. Finally, you can reach up and grasp my hand. I will pull you out into the light again. I will gently cleanse you, washing off the clinging mire. I will cover you with my righteousness and walk with you down the path of life. And these readings all tie in with passages in the Bible. So this one ties in with Psalm 40 verses 2 and 3, Psalm 42 verse 5, and Psalm 147 verse 1, I think that is, but it might be 11. My eyes are playing up. It might be 1 or it might be a double 1. It's interesting how our eyes work. Sometimes I see double vision, and especially with numbers, it can be difficult. But that's because I gave up my glasses and I'm working on my strength and I'm trusting Jesus to help, which seems bizarre to some people and maybe to you, but that's okay. I am working on it and I am a work in progress. This reading really calls to me actually because years ago I was in this pit of despair, this pit of depression, and I just kept falling further and further into it. And interestingly, not many people knew it because, I put on the mask when I left my house to go and be in company. So I think there's a lot of people out in the world today that are like how I was then, that go through their lives and go through the motions of their lives with nobody knowing that they are in this pit of depression, in this place of despair. And interestingly for me, the person that I fell apart with was one of my church friends. And the place I fell apart, fell on my knees and burst into tears because I couldn't cope anymore, was in church. So at that point, I guess if I look back, that was Jesus reaching down into that pit of despair and offering me some light in the form of my friend, who then passed me the phone number of her batch flower practitioner, who had helped her through many emotional trials. And I went to see her the next day. And my journey in the last 23 years has been very much with the batch flowers. And I would like to say always with Jesus also, but within those 23 years, there was probably a decade where I turned my back on God and Jesus for various reasons. And just because formal religion wasn't sitting well with me at that time. And now I have turned fully back to face Jesus and God, and I am doing my own spiritual exploration of Christianity and my connection with Jesus and God through these readings. But, if we go back to despair and depression, it can be really hidden, but not from ourselves, and it can really feel like a dark, lonely place. And I wrote a book last year which contains poems of me, like that I wrote when I was in my darkest days, and I kind of did a spiritual exploration of them within the book. And if you're interested, you can find it on Amazon. It's called Sisterhood of the Silent Screamers. And I, it was a way for me to work through certain emotions that I had back then that I still was triggered by in this kind of present timeline of mine. And I found it very helpful. And it is something that I would recommend anybody to do that's suffering from depression, is to write it down, to get it out there on the page, but also to know that there is hope there. There is light. It may be like a tiny little flicker of a candle that is way in the distance for you, but it's there. The light is always there. It's like the sun is always behind those black clouds up in the sky. It's always there. The blue sky is always there up above. And I think if we can somehow, in our despair, in our depression, reach for the light, reach for that sunshine, reach for hope. And for me, hope does very much come in the form of Christianity, the Christ light which is within me, and God above us. So anyway, that's my 5 minutes up. Namaste, love to you all. Bye now. Bye.